Hey there, it's Ben from patternprofits.net bringing you the weekly watch list. We are looking first at IWO, our proxy for small cap growth. We did get a move above the anchored VWAP from off the high late last week, above the volume shelf point of control, and now looking to clear that 5065 cloud. If we can get through there, don't see additional resistance up until about 319, and then those prior highs above 330 or near 340 would be next in line. So looking to see if we can make some progress in small cap growth. There's quite a few earnings reports this week, big tech reports, a lot of the S&P reports. This is a big week for earnings. That may play a big role in how this acts, depending on what kind of numbers we see. But going into the watch list, I didn't have a lot from the focus list this week. So a few of these are a little different from what you normally see me share, just because I didn't have much on the focus list. But I'm watching this kind of pinch setup on Jill. This group has been very hot in retail, anchored VWAP off the high, anchored VWAP off of the big volume move here. I believe this was earnings. You had another big volume move back here. So that's what puts it on my radar, looking to see if it can come out of the pinch. If we move the volume by price over, you'll see that we're kind of right there at the volume point of control and volume shelf. So if this can make the turn here, clear kind of a high tight flag setup, and then come out of this little consolidation to the upside, could give a good run. Those prior highs are 1076. So if we can get a run, from let's say above 850 towards those prior highs, would be a nice game to capture. I also have EVG Rev Group. This one high and tight, triangle up high. As you can see, 2075, the level to clear into new highs, was able to push above the volume shelf. So this more of a traditional breakout if it can clear that 2075 level, but another one that, as you see, had a nice prior run and up high and tight. You'll find that that's kind of the theme this week, more traditional breakouts as compared to some of the ones I usually share with you, which are inside within the base and working their way towards those breakouts and those more important pivots. HZMP, another one. This, again, we were following it from back here, the power earnings gap. That level was tested a couple times, held as support, and now looks like it may be ready for a breakout above the volume shelf point of control and have an inside day to work with here late on Friday. If it comes out of that inside day to the upside, maybe can get a move through this descending trend line, almost horizontal, but it actually does descend a little bit and into new highs. That's what we would be looking for there. SWKS. Skyworks, another one, similar setup, one that we followed. Again, power earnings gap from back here, anchored VWAP, came back nearly tested, and now looking to push through to new highs, 195.82. The pivot there to look at for the breakout, kind of a sloppy but inverse head and shoulders look to it, can act as a continuation pattern here. Snap, another one. What we're looking at here is a little cup and handle pattern. They just had earnings, big volume on the earnings, even though that candle's red, more of a hammer type move. 65.85 pivot just above, have the descending trend line right there as well. You do have the clouds 10, 20, 50, 65 right there below that can act as support. Volume shelf and point of control is just above, so we look for that to make the move through there, break the descending trend line, and push through that 65.85 pivot. Prior highs 73.59, So looking for maybe to come up to that level, put in a little handle up here, and then a breakout to further highs. That's what we'd be looking for longer term. Goldman Sachs, I actually took a position in this one last week. Looking for a breakout here. You have symmetrical triangle, and you had the big day on Friday. It found support at anchored VWAP from off of the low of this prior base. Was able to clear anchored VWAP from off of the high, looking for the descending trend line break now, and then a run to those prior highs. That was 356.82 was prior high. Same type plan. You can get up here, put in a little handle, a little flag, pull back, and then break out to new highs. That's what we'd be looking for. Although back here it didn't really pause, just kept going. But definitely keeping that one on the radar. KRNT, Credit Digital. We've got this one we were following last week. It was on the watch list. Anchored VWAP from the gap. You've got the power earnings gap. Big volume back here. This is the high at 125. Descending trend line. Tried to clear it on Thursday, as well as anchored VWAP got rejected and came back. But this one's still set up to where it could find support here off the clouds and then still make that turn. You have the volume shelf and point of control just below. So we'll see if this one can push through. And again, making a run towards those prior highs is what we'd be looking for. Lastly, Bill, this is also one from last week's watch list. Similar setup to some of the others we discussed. Anchored VWAP from off of the gap, looking for a push through there, break through the descending trend line. You have a pivot here at 167.41. Big volume back here on the power earnings gap, so looking for it to make the move and the push through. And as you can see, the theme this week, those clouds, support, 10, 20, 50, power of three type moves, bunch of setups. I tried to pick the best of the bunch to share with you guys, but there's quite a few names that look just like this, pushing their way through with cloud support just below. So we'll see what the earnings look like at the beginning of the week. I hope you guys have a great trading week, and I will see you over on FinTwit.